Okay, so this is the unboxing of a Grizzly G0803 benchtop bandsaw. I believe it was $180. No shipping charges, just 180 bucks. So I thought it was a pretty good deal for tabletop bandsaw. Here's the instructions. There's the guide, and so you don't cut your fingers off. Oh. There's the table. It's got a scale on it. There's the bottom. This thing, I forget the name of it, but it's great, especially if you want to make some angle cuts. And I guess stuff to put it together. And your fence looks like an a billet aluminum fence. Actually, more or less more like rolled sheet metal, but hey, that's alright. And then there's our bandsaw. Let me get this out first. Alright. There's the bandsaw. It's nice, it's got a light. It comes with a blade, thank God. And that's pretty much it. That's all that's in the box. Let me get on the other side. And it looks like it's a, well, it doesn't even say. 1720 RPM. Oh, 3rd horsepower. 1/3 of a horsepower. Okay, alright. Okay, so I'm putting it on my workbench, and you notice I have it in an awkward position here. And the reason why is, let me get some light. It's bent, possibly damaged in shipping. I don't know what's going on here. You can see the paint peeled back a little bit, or it cracked the paint. The base here is screwed up. It doesn't sit flat. Now, of course, that can be totally fixed if you just put it on a base. Make one. Here. But look at that. You know, using a bandsaw that does this. Because it can't, it doesn't sit straight. I mean, I know you can get a base. That's the point of a bandsaw like this. Is, you get a mounting base for it, or I could screw it into the table or whatever. But that's unacceptable when it comes to it. That back end is bent. Now, sure as heck, I could probably send it back, and they send me another one. But oh no, it's just a base. Now you could get I don't know here, 2x4. Maybe 1 or 2, 3, 4 pieces of 2x4. Put it underneath there, screw these into the table, and screw this to it, shim it up, get it right so it's flat. You don't have something that's screwed up like this. Am I going to send it back? Not yet. I don't want to wait. If I have to send this back, we'll see. If anything else is screwed up on it functionally and mechanically, yeah, I'm totally sending this thing back. So far, the base is bent. Here. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so quick fix. Bring my light. So basically, I took one of these shim things you can get at Home Depot and stuck it under there. But obviously, the back end, the whole weld, everything is bent. You see it sticking up about a ½ inch at the very end. I mean, that's a lot of wobble. Is it cheap? Yes. Does it work? I don't know. We'll find out. Should I have gone to Home Depot instead and just bought a skill saw? Yeah, probably. But I'll get this thing together, and I'll read the directions down there. Those, you probably should do if you're dealing with something like this. And we'll see how it works. You see, my projects consist of guitars and, things like that. I'm not cutting, chunks of house apart here, okay? This is very, what you call, simple. I don't need anything too crazy. I am cutting mahogany, I'm cutting hardwood, so, we'll see. I really want to see how this thing fares up. And if it works, I'll let you know, but for so far, it doesn't look like it's very promising. Okay, so found out it's got these nice little rubber corner protectors here for my nice bent base that's not even straight or flat at all. It's kind of cool. As you can see, the whole thing doesn't really seem to be sitting very straight. Wonder why. I got this, you can see this, haven't got it quite together yet. I'll get it together. And the next thing you'll see, actually maybe I should show you since this is a review kind of thing. 2 Allen keys, these wrenches, tools, Allen key, anything. Tools to set it up. So, and I believe the directions say, you gotta get a square and, make sure it's level and check blade tracking. All that tells you how to do it in here. I'm not gonna go over that. Other than that, the next thing you're gonna see is the actual function of this, bent, tilty, leaning tower of bandsaw. Anyway. Okay, so here is the G0803 Grizzly tabletop bandsaw. And I now have it set up. It's not wobbling anymore. I got shims under the base of it to keep it from moving. And honestly, I think that the reason why it was bent, I don't think it was damaged in shipping or anything. The kind of obtuse bend that was in it is the result of welding incorrectly. The piece of metal wasn't square nor flat, and they just welded it on there without putting it in a jig and got hot, and it's just warped. So, other than that, it functions pretty well. Cuts wood. Obviously, you can see there's dust everywhere. Only thing I would complain about, other than what I just mentioned about the base of it, is the fence. You can't really get a 90-degree cut easily unless you put a square on the fence to measure the angle. Because as you can see, it lifts and you can move it back and forth. But as soon as you go to clamp it, you know, this thing right here, it can move. In order to fix that, you have to loosen these screws right here. These 3 screws, because they're, of course, elongated a little bit to allow you to adjust it to make it exactly 90 degrees. So there's really no quick set to get a straight cut. This thing right here, you got, you know, a couple note cards of slop in it. I mean, it's good enough for, you know, rough cuts. You're not going to be cutting anything up to anywhere near 1/1000th of an inch of accuracy, of course, but who needs that? Other than that, it functions well. After about an hour and a half of following the instructions, I got the blade tracking, the bearing alignment, and also the blade tension where I believe they should be. The instructions are a little vague, but I think if you understand how the machine works, you'll be able to figure out how to get it to do what you want it to do. You'll get the point. Anyway, we'll just go ahead and cut a piece of oak, demonstrate it, and then it'll be done. Anyway, that will work really good. The cut, as for vibration, I would say there's none whatsoever. I mean, nothing. It doesn't make any crazy vibrations. It doesn't rattle around. It doesn't feel like it's about to shake off my table here. I don't even have it bolted down. I just have, like I said, those shims underneath it, and it works great. And I think I mentioned, I don't know if I did or not, this light right here. As you can see, it's really bright, it's really nice, except it's terribly located. I mean, I'm not going to be cutting wood like this. Probably going to be cutting it into the blade where I can, you know, track the movement and make sure it's cutting where I want it to cut. And if you put the light anywhere behind the blade, you're going to get all sorts of weird shadows and you can't see anything. So that's one of the poor properties of this bandsaw. Other than that, for the money, I think it's pretty good. The only thing that really pisses me off about it is that warped bottom. It really kind of goes to show how cheap they made it. I might contact them and maybe they'll reimburse me a little bit for it. 'Cause I really don't want to send this thing back. I mean, it's kind of heavy and it's big. I'd rather just keep it. Works good. Got it set up. Let's see here. Let me do the nickel test. So as you can see, a nickel will stand on end. Very smooth.